Good morning. I'm Vone Kevitz, knit and crochet designer for One of a Kind Makers Who Dare to Be Original. And I hope y'all had an amazing Thanksgiving. If you're in the US, happy Thanksgiving. This is Saturday, right after Thanksgiving 2019. I'm going to do something a little different. I wanted to, hopefully it'll work. Hopefully my technology works. Instead of doing an open prayer, I thought we'd listen to some music. Can you all hear this? This will give you guys a chance to come by and find me. I love this song. Can you hear it okay? Let me know. The atmosphere is changing now. The Spirit of the Lord is here. The evidence is all around. The Spirit of the Lord is here. Overflow in this place. Fill our hearts with your love. Your love surrounds us. You're the reason we came to encounter your love. Your love surrounds us. The atmosphere is changing now. For the Spirit of the Lord is here. The evidence is all around. The Spirit of the Lord is here. The atmosphere is changing now. For the Spirit of the Lord is here. The evidence is all around. The Spirit of the Lord is here. Overflow in this place. Fill our hearts with your love. Your love surrounds us. You're the reason we came to encounter your love. Your love surrounds us. Overflow in this place. Fill our hearts with your love. Your love surrounds us. You're the reason we came to encounter your love. Your love surrounds us. It's called Here Is in Heaven. I will leave the link when I'm all done. It's so good. If you join, say hi. Let me know who you are. Spirit of God, fall fresh on us. We need your presence. Your kingdom come, your will be done, here as in heaven. Spirit of God, fall fresh on us. We need your presence. Your kingdom come, your will be done, here as in heaven. Spirit of God, fall fresh on us. We need your presence. Your kingdom come, your will be done, here as in heaven. Spirit of God, fall fresh on us. We need your presence. Your kingdom come, your will be done, here as in heaven. Morning, Nancy. Thanks for joining. It's almost over. The Spirit of the Lord is here. The evidence is all around. The Spirit of the Lord is here. Are you ready? The miracle can happen now. For the Spirit of the Lord is here. Bless you. The Spirit of the Lord is here. Miracle can happen now. The Spirit of the Lord is here. The evidence is all around. The Spirit of the Lord is here. So, that was good, right? I love listening to music when I'm crafting. It calms me, it eases me, it relieves my stress, it settles my mind, it does all kinds of wonderful things. So I thought maybe we'll open up some of these lives with a little worship music, a little, once in a while I'll alternate it with prayer, but I thought something different. Nancy, how was your Thanksgiving? You celebrated Thanksgiving last month, right? So, can't versus won't. first of all, you guys, I missed last week, and I was so sick that I thought that my body was run down. So I was like, I'm just gonna do a little self-care and just cancel everything that I had going on Saturday, which was really good because I canceled my meetings, I canceled my appointments, and then I canceled live. And I just rested and slept and took care of myself. That by the evening, I felt so much better that I did all my laundry, like all of it. We're talking about every single load, put everything away, towel sheets, everything, and it made Sunday so glorious. Like I can't tell you the last time I got all my laundry done on a Saturday that I had nothing to do on Sunday. Like it was so good that is my goal from now on. I'm going to spend my energies working really hard on Saturday and getting it all done. And I also did some laundry in the middle of the week to avoid a whole batch, a whole pile this weekend, because we're raking leaves this weekend. So we did some yesterday, and we're going to do the rest today, the backyard today. So can't versus won't. How many times in life? So I have a big challenge this month. I want you guys to, anybody that's watching this video for the month of December, or whatever month you find yourself watching this in, I want you for 1 month and do nothing else but this one thing. And that is substitute every single time you say can't, every single time in your head, out loud, whenever, when you say can't, I want you to substitute it with the word won't, because that's usually what it is. We always say we can't do something, when in reality, it's really that we won't do something. There's few times when the word can't is actually valid. We're talking like a one-legged amputee will say that I can't run a race. But in all actuality, there have been many races where one-legged human beings have raced and won in races. So even that seems like a stretch, right? And we're talking, that's extreme stretching, right? So the majority of the time, 99.9% of the time, when you're using the word can't, it's really a synonym, or what's the term for won't. So I tried that. I think this past year, this entire theme for this past year is I've substituted, because I used to spend all my energy saying I can't do something. But whenever you, it's like that saying, what is it, Henry Ford's, if you think you can, and if you think you can't, you're right, So that's my challenge for you guys this month. So so let me know in the comments if that resonates with you. So last 90 days, we're entering December. So this is the last 30 days. I started this challenge with Rachel Hollis back in October, and that's doing spending the last 90 days of the year, which is October, November, December, to showing up for yourself in a way that you would have in January. So, but instead of in January saying, I'm going to be my best version, I'm going to eat right, lose weight, I'm going to, do all this stuff and show up well in January, do all those commitments starting in October, so that when in January comes, you're a brand new person, so that you actually can start on the 20th floor instead of the basement, right? It's great you listen to music and pray to ease mind. Yes. Speaking of crocheting, you're not going to be making no more crochet tutorials. You are so good at teaching. Actually, I will be. It's just these lives are not for that. I will be filming videos. I have one in the docket right now that I will be filming for the Mary tutorial, and then I'm going to be filming a Phoebe tutorial, and actually starting on Monday, Sarah Price and I, for Monday Morning Motivation, have a huge announcement that we're going to be making on Monday. So I don't want to cut it by mentioning it here. So I won't mention it here, but come back on Monday and you're going to hear the plans for 2020, and it's going to be amazing. And there will be a lot of tutorials in there. So I will be going back because I will be making a lot more and I will be crafting a lot more. So there'll be a lot of tutorials coming up next year. So yes, I will be doing crochet tutorials and knitting tutorials. But we'll be talking more about that on Monday when we share our plans for 2020. And it's so exciting. It just actually happened this past week. We've been really talking strongly because of last Monday's video, which got us to really, really, it got our brains flowing and ideas for the next year. And so we're really, really excited about it. Like, I'm really, really excited. I haven't been this fired up in a while about my making journey in a while. And so I'm really excited about that. So we'll be talking more about that on Monday. So tune in. That's Monday morning at 6 a.m. If Monday morning, 6 a.m., I want to be sure where I'm at. What time is the live stream? These live streams are right now. I'm on every Saturday. Oh, that Monday for my announcement. We're just give me a second. I want to see where I'm at here. Did y'all just see me do the knit or was I just knitting in the pink? I was. And now I gotta go back. Right? I gotta go back. Oh, all right. I'm not sure. I lost track of what I was doing, but basically, I'm working on a project. Okay, let me answer you, Nancy. Monday morning, 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're on every Monday live, 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for Monday Morning Motivation, where Sarah Price from Pampered Treasures and I chat about how we get ready for the week. We just have our weekly and we talk about a quote, we share a quote, and we try to work on a quote that week and to be better and how we improve. And so both Sarah and I have 2 online businesses that we've started. Hers is her own and mine is Von Kevitz. I have an Etsy shop. And so we like to talk about that and what it takes and what it looks like, and us getting up at 5 a.m. in the morning and doing our thing, But in there, we will be announcing our plans for 2020. So it's a big one. So I don't want to spoil it, but there will be tutorials. And now I'm like, this is the one thing about talking and making at the same time. I thought that I had just done that. So I'm going to go back. But I'm nervous that oh, okay. All right. I'm going back with the pink. So this is a part, what I'm working on right now is a part of what I will be announcing on Monday. So it's top secret stuff. It's top secret stuff for now. But I will be doing tutorials on it. And I also do tutorials because I will be designing, I design patterns, so I have some tutorials for the patterns I'm designing. Mary is my next one that I really need to get focused on, which I plan on this weekend because I got some stuff done over the weekend with the holiday break. We're gonna do some leaves today, some more leaves today, and then we're gonna rake some leaves, and then I'm gonna spend the rest of the time finishing up on my laundry and putting up my Christmas tree. So we'll get the decorations all on point today, and so tomorrow I get to chill and relax and make and get ready for our live for Monday. And I'm working on that. So in the next year, I'm writing a book. So if you guys have any suggestions on any topics that you'd like to talk about, the book that I am writing is a nonfiction for, let me see, I wrote it down, so I don't want to, I thought I would practice my one-liner for my book idea, but right now I'm like drawing a blank because, you know, when your nerves come, you draw the blank. Where is, oh, there it is. I forgot I started a new page. There. Almost there, guys. So my bullet journal, I have done, here it is, a nonfiction about creatives having the courage to be original. So this is the journey that I've been on for the past 4 years, and the community that have been along for the ride with me, that I've met along this way. We're all on this journey to to striving for and having the courage to do something on our own, and that is to make and to create, because we're all made to create like our creator. So that is what we've so that's the book that I wanted to write for next year. And so I'm going to be spending a lot of my time, a lot of my energy just on that alone, because that's going to be hard. I've never written a book. I wrote an ebook, which is in my Etsy shop, that I did in a week because I had started a handmade creative mastermind, and I thought I needed something to give to the people that were joining that mastermind for that year. And it was a group, and it was an intensive group for the year that we spent together. And I wrote the book quickly, last minute, to welcome people into the group. And that was my first book that I wrote. But the book that I'm going to be writing in 2020 is on a massive scale. Like, this dream is ginormous, like ginormous. And it's a scary dream. It's a big dream, and it's a scary dream. And it's going to take a lot out of me to do, to accomplish, to achieve, to even pursue. I think I messed this up. I messed this up because I was talking and I came back. So I'm going to go back and go the other way in a minute. So I am looking for a tutorial on an organizer to place my yarn, crochet hooks, scissors, etc. But YouTube only has crochet hook organizers, but nothing for yarn. What do you mean, like a yarn organizer? Like, you want to crochet something like this? Like this carrier? Is this like what organizer you're talking about? So you can put your yarns in here, but I've never really used it for my yarns. I put all my hooks and my needles, but there's 2 dockets for yarn, and actually there's 3. There's this big one too. Do you mean like that? Like, you want to crochet this kind of an organizer? I got this at is it Hobby Lobby or Joann's for Hobby Lobby or Joann's for 40% off, one of those 40% off coupons? Like, is that what you're looking to make? Like, I don't know what you mean by yarn organizer. Or are you thinking of something like, you know, those shoe rack organizers, like those plastic shoe racks that have, like, where you stick your shoes, like you hang it on the door and you stick your shoes, each pair of shoes in there. Are you looking for that kind of a storage organizer to store your yarn? Because if you want to crochet that, you can actually, it's actually really easy to crochet that. It's just, if that's the kind of organizer you're talking about, one that you can hang on a door, and because all you'd have to do is make one huge long piece, however long you want to make the back of it, and then do a bunch of squares in between and just sew up the edges at the 3 bottom corners so that you could uh, organize your yarn. Do you mean like that? Is that the kind of yarn organizer you're looking for? Because I don't know anybody that's crocheted. Let me see. So the reason why I say this is let's go with a big marker here. If you want to do like, so you do one huge piece, right? And then you can do another panel, and all you're going to do another panel, and all you're going to do is whip stitch the bottom, whip stitch the side, whip stitch here, and whip stitch here, and then you can have 3 compartments, and then the top is where you stick your yarn. Yarn organizer would have a place for yarn as well to go out. So you want a bag? Are you looking for, like, you want to make a crochet bag so that you put yarn in there for spaces for yarn? Is that what you mean? Like a project bag? You wanna crochet a project bag? Because this is, you could do, because this is easy, because, and then if you want it to go, you could like, you could leave the space or sew up another, you could do 3 and you could stick yarn in here, but yarn would have a place for yarn to go as well. What do you think? Like, are you looking to make a project bag so that you can stick holes for your yarns? Because a project bag is fairly easy too, because let's see, did I do crochet bags? So what's, hold on, my table's getting pretty big. So if you want to do a project bag, which is also easy too, so here's a, you could crochet a front, crochet a back, you can crochet the sides, you can have the leather or not. You could have the leather or not, but do a crochet bottom. I like leather fabric because it's sturdy and I put the foot down. So you could do a big bag like that, you know, and if you want to make a specific space for yarn, all you have to do is crochet another piece that goes right here, right? Or crochet another piece, like just imagine this to be a piece, and stick it in there, and you just have to whip stitch that side, whip stitch this side, and you've got a compartment, so you do a piece here, and so you could have a compartment for your yarn on this side. You could do like a side pocket on this side, and so for your smaller items, for your notions and stitch markers and everything. If that's what you mean by like a specific place for yarn to organize your yarn, you know what I mean? Like those are easy. Those are you, because you're just crocheting box squares. Is that what you mean by an organizer? And then the strap, you could just take it with you. You could put a zipper in front. You could do a flap. So, is that what you mean, Nancy? And thanks for the ideas. No problem. Let me know what you have in mind, because that's what I love about the beauty of what we do is, you know, the reason why I even started knitting and crocheting was because I wanted to make things that I couldn't find. There were certain things that I had specifically in my head that I couldn't get at the store. Like I couldn't find it. And if it was just way out of my price range. if it existed, it was way out of my price range for me to do. So I always made things on my own, and so that's what I love. That's why I love the maker community, and that's why I love meeting makers and meeting people with ideas that they execute on because of what they saw or because of what they want and because the market didn't already have what it was in their heads. So let me know if you need anything else, Nancy. If you're looking to make a bag, because if you're looking to make a bag, that's fairly easy. You just saw what I crocheted there. Liberty, lay down. No, no. So that's it. So what else are you guys doing this month? Oh, so my last, so for my final month, so for my October, I had given up cream and sugar, which meant coffee, and all the treats that the office gives, like brings every single day. So I said no to all those. And then on November, I gave up the vending machine. So that's over with because I had developed a habit of going to the vending machine for a bag of chips because I had said no to all the cookies and all the donuts and everything. So I just had a bag of chips with my soup. And that became a bad habit to have. So I didn't want to be spending money on the vending machine and getting junk food from the vending machine as a last minute substitute. Because remember, we don't get rid of our habits, we just substitute it with another habit. So we either choose to substitute with a good habit or a bad habit. So instead, so that's what I did for November, and now we're in December. In December, I've been preparing for the hardest because this one is my hardest challenge yet in giving up a category of food because of the last 90-day challenge was doing the 5 to Thrive things. So that is to move your body for 30 minutes, drink half your body weight in ounces of water. And the big trick on that is I start off my morning with this nice jug of water. Speaking of, and when you're drinking water, that's what you should be doing. You should be chugging it so you can have a lot of it. So water, move your body for 30 minutes. Any which way, it doesn't have to, any way, just move your body for 30 minutes. It could be yoga, it could be stretches, it could be walks, it could be anything. And then practice gratitude, list 5 things that you're grateful for every single day. So I write them in my bullet journal. And what was the other one? Give up a category of food. And that's the one I was talking about with my cream and sugar was October. I gave up the vending machine for November, and in December, I am going to be giving up processed food. And this terrifies me. This one's a biggie, and it's a doozy, and it's going to be a mother challenge, especially for Christmas, the month of December. And so I figure if I can go Whole Foods this month, it's going to be a huge challenge for me. Now, a lot of people do a lot of different things, and I think my friend gave up coffee for a month. Another thing that she did was she did sugar for the 1 month. I don't know what she's going to attempt to do this month, but we're kind of like holding each other accountable to our goals in that aspect. I cannot think of that 5th one. What that 5? So it's water. Ooh, hold on. Oh, these guys, they got up because they thought I was getting up, so I have a feeling. Oh, water, an hour. Oh, wake up an hour each day for yourself. So an hour earlier in the morning to for yourself, just for self-care, just for to have a self routine, to have a self-care routine, to read a book, to enjoy a slow cup of coffee, to have breakfast, just doing something for an hour for yourself. And and I do that first thing in the morning. I get up an hour earlier than my hubs, and now I'm actually greedy because I get up like 2 hours earlier because an hour isn't enough for me. So I'm up at 5 every day. But I'm also conscious if I'm up too late at night, I'll make it 1 hour or just sleep in, and make sure I try to put that hour in the evening somewhere for myself. It's just easier in the morning because you're up. There's a peace in getting up before your house, before the other people demand stuff from you, like your time and your energy and your, like, so getting up an hour earlier, doing stuff for me before I have to go to work is just amazing. So I'm up like sometimes 2-3 hours before I even go to my day job. But by then I had already listened to a book, a podcast. I learned a lesson. I've read something. I've read the Bible. I've already done my prayer. I've already worked out. I've already showed up for myself, so that and filled my well, so that by the time I get to work, I'm fired up. Like half my day was already spent, and I love that. I never used to be that way. Okay, these guys are gonna get me in trouble. I gotta go to the bathroom. Give me a second. And I can't leave him out because Indy is like digging like crazy right now because of those squirrels and those chestnuts that they're burying in our backyard, where he's digging them up and he's eating them. He's a little rascal. Yeah. So, I'm going to guess, Nancy, that this weekend is what do you call it? A holiday weekend. So my guess is there's a lot of people with a lot of family in town. And so I doubt that they will have time to chat with me, but I'm sure that they will watch the replay and catch up with what we're saying here. But I'm really grateful that you're here chatting with me, so I'm not talking to myself. But in theory, that's what the principle of these things are, is just to get together and create for an hour and make and see how we're doing. So I hope you have a nice weekend as well. And thank you for spending some time with me. So this month coming up is my biggest challenge, because I'm going to be attempting the no processed foods, and I'm going to be like, obviously I'm not going to like punish myself or deprive myself of food, but I'm going to do my best to just eat whole foods and cut the processed food any which way I can. And that's including condiments. So already, to set myself up well, I'm going to be making a huge pot of turkey neck stock. So got good prices on turkey neck this week. So that's gonna be my bone broth for the weekend. Hey Bonnie, thanks for joining. Happy Thanksgiving. Hope you guys had a great Thursday. Are you guys still celebrating? And how did you do in the food category? Oh my God, I ate like there was no tomorrow. And for all the discipline that I've been working on, but you know what? This is what I said to do right back in October, when you knew that, Halloween was going to come, Thanksgiving is going to come, Christmas is going to come, and there's always going to be something. There's always going to be an event. But if I can spend like 75-80% of my efforts trying to be good, and in eating healthy and refraining from the junk as much as possible, then on the day that we celebrate, I'm gonna do it guilt-free, and I'm good, 29 days of the month. So on Thursday, when there was all that wonderful food in front of me, I ate everything. I tried everything. There was a lot of veggies. There was a lot of, and obviously turkey and mashed potato and stuffing. I ate all of it. I piled my plate high. And then I made apple crumb pie. Not good for me with food, but getting back on track today. Awesome. Me too. I'm making a huge pot of bone broth, turkey neck. I got a whole bunch of them from the grocery store, so I'm making a huge pot of that, and I'm just gonna, enjoy that the rest of the week, because for the month of December, I'm going Whole Foods and cutting out processed food. So basically, if I want a dessert, I'm gonna have to make it from scratch. If I want, meals, I'm gonna have to make it from scratch, and probably it's gonna be a lot of bone broth days and a lot of egg days. And the one thing that is like frightening me a bit is the noodles. One of my quick, easy Asian fixes is like instant noodles, and so not having that as an option is going to be tough for me, because I'm going to crave it. I'm going to want it. Because I want the seasoning. I want all that salt and spice and everything. So there are a few days that I will crave that. And luckily, I finished everything, so I don't have any in the house. I don't have any in the house to tempt me in December, and I won't be buying anything that is related to that for the month of December, because that's going to defeat my processed food, cutting out processed food. So that's going to be the hard part, is that ramen noodles, the packet of noodles. I don't have it a lot, but on a hard, work day and easy, like quick fixes, like I crave that. And so that I will miss that, but I'm just gonna have to have eggs and more bone broth and salads and meals, but meals are tough to make during the week for me, because I work during the day. But so I made apple crumb pie, and I make a killer apple crumb pie, and pumpkin pie, and I do my crust from scratch. Give me a second. I'll share my recipes with you if you want to find out. I gotta bring them back in. Come on. So my apple. Do any of you guys bake? Did you guys bake? So what did I? Apple crumb pie is John's grandma's recipe. She's long gone, but she had passed the recipe on to me when we first got married, and I had been doing it every single year since. And I've gotten so good that I have made the pie in like a whole pie pan, and I've done them in the giant size muffins. So I've done little mini apple crumb pies, and so and that recipe. So you do pecan pies? I was just telling my husband, I've never done a pecan pie. It is my favorite. I love pecan pies, but I've never done it. Is it hard? That's awesome. I'm so jealous. I did not have any pecan pie this Thanksgiving. So the pumpkin is from the pumpkin pie mix. Is it Mrs. Libby's? Which I didn't know they had an organic one, but I think you have to order it online. So I'll probably do that next year. I didn't realize they had an organic one of that, but I just got the regular one, which is what I've always seen at the stores. And I gotta go back. And so that's easy. It's very high in calories. Oh, I'm sure it is. But all the good stuff, all the delicious stuff are high in calories. But for the apple crumb, you just, so I just follow the pie crust, just making a simple pie crust with Crisco and flour and cold water, stir it, mix it, and then roll that out so the pie crust is done. and that's easy. The apples, you cut apples up, six cups, and 6 cups of thinly sliced apples. I use galas. No, 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 no. Um, John's grandma used to use Granny Smith, but as soon as I took on the recipe, I stopped the Granny Smith, and I just have always used galas because they're sweeter. Um, this time around, I didn't have any lemon juice, so I didn't put any in, but nobody seemed to have missed it. But not only that, I also cut the sugar. In the recipe, it was 3/4 cup of sugar in with the apples, but I only made it half a cup. And I could tell it wasn't as sweet as I normally, but we don't need all that sweet, with diabetes and so too much sugar. So I was like, and the gala apples were already sweet enough, so I cut that by half a cup. I was pretty proud of myself, but it was but I could taste the difference. And then and then cinnamon, nutmeg, and I didn't have lemon juice because I just didn't have any in the house, and I didn't prepare for it. So, but I didn't miss it, and all that does is it brings out the sweetness and the juice in the apples. But it was okay. And then for the crumb, it is half a cup of flour with 1/4 cup of sugar and like 2 tablespoons of butter, melted butter, or not melted, like room temperature butter. And you just kind of crumble it together. And so it's like a half ratio. So if you do a cup of, so in the recipe, it's just half a cup of flour, 1/4 cup of sugar, and then a couple of tablespoons of butter. And you mix that up, and then with your hands, and you crumble it up, and then you drizzle it, like, so you put the apple in there, and then the trick is to cut like little, slivers of butter and lay them on top of the apples, and then put the crumbs on top, and then it goes in the oven, and the butter starts to melt and ooze into the apples, and it kind of absorbs into the flour, and then that's how you get the crumbs. And it is delicious. Delicious. It was John's favorite recipe, like favorite pie. And so I learned to make a really killer apple crumb pie. But since he's never had, like, he's not a fan of pecan, so it was just something I've never had to do, but it is my favorite. And thank God I didn't learn that. Another one of my favorites is a cheesecake, and I've never learned to make a cheesecake because I figure some powers are not meant for me to have. And I think pecan pies is going to be in that same category as the cheesecake, because if I knew how to make that, I would be 600 pounds, because I would make it all the time. And not only would I make it all the time, I would eat it all the time. And I would eat all of it, and I wouldn't want to share it. And I would want to make more of it. So some powers are just not meant to be. Some powers you're just better off not knowing. But I'm very jealous that you make it, Bonnie. So what else? What else is going on? So Christmas is coming. What are you guys doing? You make a yogurt cheesecake? Oh, that's cool. Never thought to cut corners in that aspect of it. Let me know how that is. Hey, Kathy. Yeah, you are late. I'm about to wrap up. We started the hour off with some worship music because instead, that's what I wanted to do. These next couple of lives, maybe we'll see. I'll find some good music that I love listening to that we'll enter instead of a prayer, and maybe I'll go back to prayer. Maybe depending on how I feel, but I'll find that link to that worship music that we heard. It's Here Is in Heaven by Elevation Worship. My model found it because I think she wants to use it in her wedding coming up in April. And so I was listening to it this week, and it's so good. And so that's what you missed this morning, Kathy. And what I'm working on is like a secret project, which we will be announcing. Sarah and I will be announcing on Monday. So I don't want to to spoil the surprise on Monday for Monday Morning Motivation. We'll be we'll be sharing more about that and my plans for 2020, which I am writing a book and I've been writing ideas. So if you guys have any ideas and you guys want to have a topic idea that you guys want to me to talk about, please let me know, because the book is for you. It's for creators. It's for people like you and me who love to make or want to make or to, it's just, so I lost track, so I wanted to make sure I get back on track. When I come back, okay. I should be good. I should be good after this next round. To make and chat at the same time. Ooh, a secret project. Yes. Speaking of projects, so Christmas is coming, right? We got 4 weeks. Is it 4 weeks or 3 weeks? I mean, it depends on when you actually meet with them, when you do your gift exchange. What are you guys making? Are you guys buying for Christmas this year? I'm going to be making this year, so I want ideas. What kind of ideas do you guys have? So my sister loves cats. Like, she's a cat person. Loves cats. Like, she's got a billion of them. Like, literally a billion and growing. But I was thinking of making something for her cats. Now, what's quick and easy? I'm thinking of making cat toys. Does that seem like, is that something easy I could Google real quick and make a bunch of? Have you ever heard of anything, any gift ideas for cats? Let me know. Share in the comments if you guys have any ideas. I'm thinking of looking for making quick cat toys. Like what is this thing that they say, catnip? Is that something like I can make a pouch? And you're making everybody Christmas wreaths today with your sister? Fresh fruits and cranberries? What? Kathy, that sounds amazing. You're making speckled scarf for your son, patterned by Pearl Soho. Oh, cool. So you're making a scarf for your son. You're making wreaths for everybody. I am going to be making my secret project for my family. I think that is the general idea, and so that they can test it out. So I'm thinking of doing that. And then I have my and I think I want to make my model some fingerless gloves. And I think I want to make several fingerless gloves for all my lady friends, is what I plan on doing, like for my coworkers. I think I'm going to make some fingerless gloves for them because it seems fairly easy. Cat toy filled with catnip and bells. Oh, put a bell in? What does that mean? What do you mean by catnip? Is that like is that something you buy at the pet store? Is that like weed for cats? I'm not sure. Is that like hay or something? Like you stuff it in? Like, do I buy that at a pet store and then stuff it in? And then will they destroy the yes, definitely send me pictures. I would love that. Like, do I stuff it in with whatever that catnip product is? You can buy it. So I'll go to the pet store. I buy a bag of catnip, and then I will I'll make a round ball or something and put the catnip in there. But will they be like, I don't want them to eat the toy. How will they get to the catnip? We're going to destroy my ball to try to get into the bell. I mean, that seems, well, I mean, the dogs do the same thing. They destroy all their toys because they want to get the squeaker out, because that's their goal in life, is to destroy the squeaker. So I think I'm going to do that for my sister. And then, and my brother has, two babies. One's coming, which they moved up the date to December 26th. So we could have a Christmas baby on celebrating baby Christmas, baby Jesus' birthday there. He was supposed to be coming in January, but now like the doctor has moved him up even further to December 26th. So I need to be making, I want to make a little newborn set for my new nephew coming. So I'm thinking, what, a little hat, a little mitten, and then what, a little booty. So I think I'll do that for my second nephew. For my older nephew, who's a year and a half, Milo, I don't know what, I think I want to make him uh, a doll, like for like, my doll that I make, but I think I want to make a Milo doll. That sounds insane because that's going to take a lot of work. And I'm like, now that I think about all these projects that I want to make, I want to make Milo a Milo doll. If you don't know what I'm talking about, like, this is my doll. This is for me when I had bangs. She's my mascot. This is the Bone doll. So I'm gonna do a Milo doll, and his hair will be like short, so it'll be short and it'll kind of like stick up like punk. I think he's gonna be so cute, and so I want him to walk around with it and hug it and love it, and so that's what I wanted to do for his birthday in June, and time just came and went. Time just came and went, so I didn't get to make him his 1-year-old birthday, that doll. So I want to do it for this Christmas, but that means I got to get started now. Luckily for me, so I'm not gonna be making much. This is the only time I'm making is being here live with you guys, and then I have a lot of work to do, housework to do, and then tomorrow I'm gonna get on it. I'm gonna get on it because now that I'm talking about it with you guys, like this is totally what I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna do the catnip for my sister, the catnip toys for my sister. I'm gonna do my brother, I can just bypass because I just give his kids. I don't think it's something they eat, smell. Oh, the smell. Okay. So it's just something that it just entices them to want to play with it. Okay, cool. That's what I never knew. I never knew that. I should have probably asked Nip. But so it's just something that gets them to want to play with it because of the smell. Okay, cool. You might run out of time. Set your schedule. Set your schedule and goals to get it all done. I am. And now that I'm talking out loud with you guys, like this is totally what I want to do. So I will be filling it in. I will be scheduling my time. Speaking of scheduling time, so in my bullet journal, I started doing this new weekly layout where I start the week Monday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then the final one is just the later, so anything like after that I'm not scheduling this week. So as you can see this week, I had it nice and empty. These bottom tasks, these were Saturday and Sunday tasks. I'll be filling them in soon once I hit this, but my Thursday and Friday I kept fairly light. These were just the pie stuff, my cooking stuff for Thanksgiving. So I have the weekly layout that I'm doing, but the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to change my daily because I want to track my hours. So I going to be, I tried it for a couple of weeks in October, and then all of a sudden I was missing the weekly layout. So here's October's. Can you tell? Like, so I started, so this is my daily. So my daily is my hours, like, so 6 a.m., all the way to, actually it starts at 5 a.m. So it's 5 a.m. all the way to 11 p.m. at night. And, so I made a space and then I filled it in with all my work. This is my work stuff, and so I love filling it in. And then on the other side of the daily is my goals and my gratitude and all the notes that I've taken throughout the day, anything that pops up in my head. So I liked this daily stuff. That probably wasn't a busy day. I like this daily stuff, and I miss it, and then so I want to come back with it into this one. So, but I want to keep my weekly. So I'm going to keep my weekly. So the weekly is just that for the week, and then it's just tasks that I have, so I can have in one shot. And the daily I will have, because I missed that timing tracking. So I'm going to track that. The reason why I want to get really good with my schedule is I have to get really good with my schedule because I have big goals for 2020, like big goals. And writing a book to produce something out of nothing is going to be massive. It's a massive undertaking. It's some serious discipline that I do not have right now. I'm not equipped for that kind of a mental game plan, like that kind of a. But I know that I have to be. I know that I want to be. I know that I need to be. These are my goals. These are my big dreams. And this is how I have to pursue it. And so I have to find a way to structure my day and structure my time that I can hold myself accountable to accomplish this goal. And you're watching it all live. You might run out of time. I'm currently working on a scrapbook project for one of my grandsons. Oh, that's cool. That's cool. So you got some makings and some buying. So if you guys have any other ideas for gifts, I still have. So I think I'm going to do fingerless gloves. I'm going to do this secret project for the rest of the family. And that will be announcing on Monday. But if you watch on Monday, you'll know what I'm going to give to the majority of my family so they can test it out and use it and see if they love it or not. And I think I'm back on track. Whew. Yeah. It only took me like how many rows, but back on track, guys. Have you ever done this this way? What I'm doing is I'm knitting 2 projects at the same time on the same circular set so that I can do them together and be done at the same time. Does that make sense? So I can have 2 of them and be done at the same time. And they're 2 separate projects, but the exact same projects, just on 2 different skeins. And it helps me if you guys get bored with your projects. You know, if you guys get bored with your projects and you need to make more than one, this is a good way to do it for knitting. If you're doing a knitting project, is to do both of them on the same circular set. So when you get to this is a good idea for when you're making sleeves. So if you're making a sleeve, like for a sweater, and you have to make 2 sets of something, you do the one sleeve and then you cast on and do the other sleeve, and at the same time you're going to need obviously 2 different skeins to do it. But so every time you change, every single row that you have to do an increase or a decrease, you can do it to the one and then you could do it to the other, and therefore you won't like miscount, it's just so much easier. And then when you're done, guess what? You got 2 sleeves, like you've got 2 identical items ready to go, and it takes just the same amount of time to do it in one shot, So this is a good tip for anybody that and it helps, like if you have like startitis, or what is that, single item itis. So if you can do socks, it's better to do 2 socks at the same time off of off the circular needles. Like that's, if I ever learn how to do a knitted sock, that's the method that I will be learning, is to do it at the same time on a circular needle, because I love doing 2 projects on a circular needle because it just makes the project more fun, and it's more interesting, that because I go from one and I go from the other, and I know both projects are growing at the same time, and I know they're growing evenly, and when I'm done, they're both done. So that's always an incentive. So y'all, thanks for joining me. Thanks for joining. For anybody that watches the replay, be sure to leave a comment and say hi, and be sure to let me know what you guys are making for Christmas. If you guys are making anything, or if you guys are buying, let me know what you guys are buying. What are the gifts you're sharing with your loved ones this year? I just need some ideas. That's the only reason why. Purely selfish reasons. I need ideas, people. All right. I hope you have a fantastic weekend. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. And I have about 4 more slices of apple pie that John and I will be fighting over. And then I will be well behaved. And then starting tomorrow, is tomorrow the 1st, starting tomorrow, I will be eating whole foods only and cutting off processed foods. So wish me luck with that. Check back in with me on next Saturday, see how well I do on that goal, and then we'll have another topic to chat about. And I will leave the link in the worship music, Here Is in Heaven, that we listened to in the beginning. I'll leave a link if you guys like that. I love that song. It's such a good one. It's a good song to meditate to. So once in a while, like what I like to do is when I come home from work and I'm ready to start my evening and I'm cooking, I'll play some worship music and it settles my mind. It preps me to make a good meal, to put some love into my meal so I can share it with my husband. And it grounds me and it sets me off because some days at work, people come at me and I can get so wound up. And the last thing I ever want to do is to end my day with the way it began at work. Like, so I never want to take from work and bring it home. So that's one of the ways to cut it is the worship music. So, all right. Until next time, God bless, guys. Have a great weekend. Bye.